As we have made ourselves into a nice little cozy party, we shall start as your ship, your little shuttle that has been taking you away from the space station at Mars Colony, heading towards the local shipyard, as into the view carves the beautiful shape of Jacaranda, which is the ship, with its rotating front half spinning in the night to give it the much-needed gravity to hold you onto its surface. The other half staying perfectly still, holding up the great big solar panels and the mountings for the solar sails. And as you pass closer towards Tanger Bay, you can see through the large windows of its luxurious main residence the hardwood flooring that would welcome you into its embrace. And as your ship docks as your shuttle docks into your ship, who is the first one to exit?
Wesley will exit onto his ship, talking all the while about it like a proud yacht owner. Look at her, she's a beaut, she's 200 tons of pure pleasure ship. The family got her some time ago, and I'm sure you'll all enjoy your stay aboard.
And how would you describe Wesley for our audience?
Wesley is the worst product of sort of a top university family entitlement and then careerism sort of rolled into the status of a nominal war hero, which he milks for all it's worth. So he's a short man, brown hair, brown eyes, the sort of tan you get from a luxurious holiday, complete with an eye patch and a sharp suit. So, all in all, the complete package of a pleasure yacht's captain.
And who is the next one to follow the ship owner's entrance to the vessel?
That would be me, alone. Human male walks out. First thing you notice is an absolute bald head, nice and shiny. Bald as a female centauri. Face and body, the second thing you notice. Big like one of those old-timey wrestlers from the US of A. Sporting a nice little blue and gray uniform. The third thing you notice as I step out and to greet y'all is the weathered, beaten, but well-maintained cowboy boots. Yep, she's a beauty, Wes. We're gonna do some great things with this. I intend so.
As you two make it deeper into and the other two settle outside, still awing at the ship's splendor and how magnificent it is, you are greeted by your local workroom, the hired hands you helped to renovate the ship, which would be the unusual pairing of a centauri and a Narn. These two aliens to human eyes, seemingly getting along fabulously, considering they are not killing each other on sight, smile. The Narn verily, and the Lady Centauri, with her beautiful face and bald head, except for the stylish ponytail, which is in vogue with the Centauri court at the moment. She smiles warmly, widely, walking towards Wesley with her arms open, as the eloquently tailored dress emphasizes her form. Ah, you are back. Welcome to the ship. I hope you will find it satisfactory. And she attempts to give Wesley a hug.
Wesley's very tentative about this. He puts on his best sort of officer's face that yes, one must be good to one's crew and embrace other cultures, but he's not comfortable with it. Just a gentle pat on the back, like that.
As she hugs, it is a courteous hug, more suited for the nobility. Just a gentle pat on the back as well as she steps back and then smiles to the marine companion and nods in affirmation. As this is a lower rank individual, a hug is not required, and merely smiles. Welcome to you as well. Was it the commander?
Colonel Malone.
Yes. The ship is ready for your inspection. We have done great work with it. You will find fur in the sensories department. It is the only thing he would ever work on, which is most annoying. However, I will hope it is indeed satisfactory, especially your quarters, Master Wesley. And she steps aside, letting you through. The Nan, having stayed silent for this time, merely rolls his eyes at the Centauri's blatant askissery and just grabs like, it's working all right. And after that, we get our two other passengers, the pilot himself being the last to exit, but telepath. Oh well, how public is this knowledge? How many people of this party know of your abilities?
At least two of them know, due to work obligations. You see Femi walk out. He kind of walks out, looks around, lights a cigarette. Dark-skinned man, average height, very well-groomed goatee. He has this very just tired look about him. And he kind of just, takes a drag on his cigarette and just looks around and says, "Is there a bar on this ship?"
Yes, there is a very well-stocked bar on the ship. Down the left, then the second right.
All right.
The good spirits are in the bottom shelf.
If you need me, I'll be in the bar. And he just starts walking towards the bar.
Same old Frankie, same old Frankie.
Afterwards comes the final member of the crew, the one who had the unfortunate duty of handling the parking arrangements of the shuttle and making sure it does not slip out into the space as you engage the main engines of your main vessel.
And I look around and my eyes just suddenly alight on this entire female that is there in front of me. And I go, some beauty of civilization in front of me. And then my eyes go to the Narnagam. And also some barbarism of the galaxy in front of me. I believe you are my crewmates. Landis Cortas, at your service.
What a pleasure to meet a fellow gentleman of the proper species. The Centauri lady walks forward to give a proper courtly curtsy towards you, smiling. Miana of the House of Versa, at your very service, master. You have the bearing of a warrior. How enticing. The Nan, on the other hand, just smirks and says, when you need the engine to run, nothing beats a good kick. A savage, barbarous kick. Something you Centauri never learned.
Well, maybe for your technology that works. Centauri technology works a wee bit differently, I have found.
Yes, considering most of ours is improved upon yours.
You say improved, you say despoiled. But I think we can agree to disagree, don't you think?
Yes, we can agree to disagree, my world, yes. However, let us not dwell on the past and look at the future before somebody gets killed.
There's no need to. There's enough money for all of us here, I believe. There's no need for us to stare up past, as you said.
Yes, as long as the paycheck is steady, I'll be happy and smiling.
I so hope so.
He now bows. Just the gentle nod of the head sort of bow, which just says, I acknowledge the old Centauri tradition where the Centauri would greet a slave Nan back in the day. However, he's reversing the situation back and saying, if you need me, I will be in the engine room.
Hopefully, I will not disturb your sanctum.
As he leaves, Miana sighs and says, this slave, it is most annoying sort of person. He's thinking himself like a free person.
Well, our leaders say they are free. That is the way of the galaxy, unfortunately.
Meanwhile, as Wesley makes it to his personal hardwood-covered room, the one with all the trimmings and shiny bits, there's a call coming through the local communications device. You barely had your time to get acclimated, and already it's saying, incoming message. Fun center reply.
Yeah, okay, Wesley, he picks up the intercom in one hand and his gin and tonic from the private bar where he keeps the best stuff in the other, and goes, Captain Store, speaking.
Ah, you sound different, Landers. Why didn't you answer immediately?
Who is this?
It is your wife, you silly. Speak to me in a proper manner. This is hardly appropriate for a noble of your standing.
2 seconds, madam. Pushes over to the intercom and goes, Landers!
I'm just like going, oh no, excuse me, madam. I just say up to it. Is this the intercom? Oh, yes, okay. Yes, Landers here, how can I help?
There's someone on the phone for you, Landers!
Who would be calling myself at the moment?
Do you have a wife?
Oh,
Right.
Jacaranda. Oh, okay, she's calling. Yeah, where are you? I think it might be best for me to take this.
I'm in my stateroom, having a drink. You come in, I will leave the two of you to it. Yes, madam, yes, he's just come.
Yes, I'll be here. I'm sorry, my dear. Where is Wesley's stateroom there?
The stateroom is this way, if you please.
Thank you.
And with a spring in her step, she prances towards the proper direction, leading you to the room where an irate sound is coming through the communications device, insisting on where her husband is, all the while not appreciating on being on hold, it appears.
So I'm going to come in. I'm assuming is she like on Wesley? Is she like on a screen, or is that like a handhold communicator?
Yeah, it's like a handheld one. It's sort of old-fashioned. He likes those sort of old-style touches and makes him feel sort of historic.
You, of course, have a view screen.
I'm just going to go, Wesley, is it possible you can put this onto a screen instead?
Yeah, okay, he stabs a couple of buttons. I assume this is not like a DVD player where you need like a home menu?
You can use a voice command if you please, or they could be just button.
On screen. Skedaddles out of you.
Yeah, as the screen flickers on, it shows Ariana in all her splendor, which is most of your money in clothes forms.
I love it!
About time, there was some rude person saying that pretending to be you, claiming to be the captain of the ship.
Oh, no, he's the steward, my darling.
You should fire him immediately. You should not tolerate this from your servants.
These humans, my dear, they're pretentious, but they have money.
So you finally are taking my call. I've been trying to call you for days now on your ship, but you've not been answering. Just some nod picking up the phone and saying, he's not here. Since when did you get a slave?
I picked him up, my dear. He's needing to be a house train. That's the issue.
Anyway, that's not what I was calling. I need you to pick up my brother. He's heading for some human station out in the space. It's called some Dabalon or something, Babylon, something like that. You need to take him there at once.
I'm picking up your brother Fear. Why?
Because he got a job there. They made him part of the ambassadorial staff. It's a good big promotion for him. Yeah, you see, we need to make it proper. He can't go in just normal shuttle. It is his first day. What sort of impression does it make if he does not arrive on a personal transportation? And instead some liner from Centauri Prime. We need to make a good impression. Yes.
I'm assuming your uncle, Admiral Marie, is making this a personal request.
I am making this a personal request.
Right.
On behalf of my family.
Of course. And I assume my father is also extending the same sort of greetings.
Your grandfather is. Your father is out hunting again.
Okay. Now, I, of course, will graciously transport your dear brother Fear to... Is that Master Malari? He's going to be working on there, I believe. So,
You know, you have studied well the ambassadorial things. But yes, handle it immediately. We will be waiting for you in Centauri Prime. Say hello for me to your servant when you kick him out for horrible behavior. Toodles, darling. The phone call closes, leaving Landers staring at the screensaver, which is, in Wesley style, something classic. Like a
Be a oil painting, a classic oil painting from Earth history. He's always fancied himself something of a historian, but he doesn't have very much in the way of taste. So
a sailing ship, switching to something by Botticelli at some point. Or just random classics thrown into the mix.
I'm just gonna walk out and double check to see if actual Wesley's there waiting outside. If he isn't, I'm gonna go back in for a moment and actually peruse the bar.
Wesley is standing outside, just steadily drinking and looking at his expensive Rolex, space Rolex.
Right.
You know.
Do you actually see me open the door? That's the thing. I want to see if you actually paid attention there.
Probably not.
All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the bar, actually find probably the most expensive alcohol I can find. Or what I think is the most expensive alcohol. I don't know what human beverages that much. So like, nah. What's this? Whiskey. Malts. They say fingers. Oh, just fill it up. I better be polite. Grab a second one for Wesley.
Methylated. What's this? That must be good.
Just go out and go, right, to us. And I hand you the other drink. There.
Yes, to us. Clink.
I have got us a job.
Go on.
My brother-in-law, he's a bit special. He's beloved in the family. You know, he doesn't mean any harm. But he's actually got himself a job at that station of yours at Babylon 5. And he's going to be working for the ambassador. So, of course, the family, we don't want to embarrass the ambassador by having them arrive on just a lowly shuttle. They have decided that, as I do have shares in the ship there, if we make a show of it, the family will be happy. The Centauri Republic will be happy at the same time. And of course, it will gain us connections there.
Your family, remind me, the uncle and the Admiralty, they'd be willing to, of course, compensate us for our time in assisting this diplomatic mission.
Well,
Correct?
my grandfather, the Admiral, also, and my uncle-in-law have kind of expressed that any help that we do, while might not be directly repaid immediately, might lead to favours further on. You know how it is there. You know, I scratch your back, you scratch mine. This is how we Centauri do it. And these are, of course, men. You do not disappoint.
Well, here's to our close allies, the Centauri.
Of course.
It's a struggle to keep it down. I'm not sure what you mix, but
Yeah, there's a few things there. Ooh. Yeah, just one problem, Wesley. You might want to change your hairstyle a wee bit there. Maybe shave it all off, potentially, or dye it. My wife kind of took a disliking to you, and it's just better if she doesn't recognise that it was you that answered the call there. She might, you know what women are like, they make a scene.
why does your wife have my private number, by the way?
I may have accidentally have given her the wrong number.
Well, that's no problem, you know, considering the favour that you're doing me. Something I could overlook. Do you think a side parting will do it?
A side
My
part.
barber cost a lot last month.
Yeah, just maybe diet a wee bit. Grow tea. Us Centauri, we do have trouble especially the way you wear your facial hair and all that. We have difficulty making out the lot of you sometimes.
Are you saying that us humans all look alike?
Oh, no. I'm
No,
not
no.
prepared to say that. It's just, there's just certain styles that just throw us off. We spend more time looking at the hairstyle, and we don't actually look at the face there.
Maybe a pencil-thin moustache?
Yeah, maybe.
I guess we'll continue discussing human fashion choices.
Yes.
I
Either
don't know
that or
what
just
about this.
dress less ostentatiously, maybe.
Meanwhile, you are discussing options for various dress code violations and other sorts of manners to distract Landis's dear wife. The other two in the party are also up to no good. I mean, also inspecting the ship in the various departments. I am sure that our soldier is more than interested in finding out how the weapon systems have integrated with the old ship's support systems.
Laser turrets, controls, stocked ammo, all the way up, energy up.
Yes,
Looks good.
exactly. The old observation dome that used to be near the luxurious stateroom, where you can actually hear portions of the discussions from the main room, have been converted into a gun battery with a state-of-the-art pulse cannon. It's so new it still has a few of those plastic wrappers holding the sheen in. Nobody has dared to remove them in case you would desire the pleasure yourself.
I'm sure we'll get our chance to test these out soon enough.
Indeed, since they are connected to the power grids of the machine, their ammunition stockpile is essentially unlimited.
Nice.
As long as you still have fuel on your ship. On that note, what is our commercially available median doing?
Premi, you with me?
No, I'm in the bar. I'm sitting here counting all the bottles of alcohol. Like, this is not going to be enough. Especially if Landis talks to me. So, I just pour a very, very big glass of whatever's available. And then I go walk towards the flight deck, because,
The bridge, you mean?
the bridge.
Yeah.
The bridge.
Yes, on the bridge you meet the third crew member who has been staying on board the ship, overseeing the modifications to the systems. This one would be Fur, the third Centauri on the ship, making them the second most numerous species on the ship. Well, tied with humans, in fact. Fur gazes up from the sensors console, looking up towards... you have returned. I did not expect your return in a couple of days. Are we getting ready to leave then? The middle-aged Centauri asks, his hair much shorter than Landis's, designating a lower status among the species.
I just take a big swig of what I'm drinking. I'm assuming we're going to end up going somewhere sometime, but we might as well get ready. You want a drink?
Oh no, not while I'm doing research. The alcohol, I know it is. It is one of my failings as a Centauri. I cannot take much alcohol while I'm working. It's one of my indulgences not to take any. But perhaps when we have visitors, I will imbibe with you.
I'm just letting you know that Landis is on board, and you might want to take a drink.
The gentleman has arrived as well. Yeah. Is everyone present?
I believe so.
That is good. And then again, I should be paying attention on the sensors more often. But there was this really fascinating solar flare coming from the sun, and the magnitude of it is comparably so large to your planet that it was. And he begins to drone on about his scientific research into phenomena involving space and other facets of the industry.
Yeah, I tone him out and just start getting the ship ready.
Yes, and now that you have met the entire crew, the ship is ready in a matter of an hour. It's just going through the checklist, checking out what is good and not. But overall, the crew has done a magnificent job. There are no warning signs anywhere, well, except the increased power consumption by the sensor array, but that was to be expected considering who's next to you, abusing the generosity that you have given to him to use the sensors for his research. However, as the ship rolls to ready, I suppose you are heading towards Centauri Prime.
Yeah, we gotta go pick up this guy, don't we?
Right, so how about whoever is piloting proceeds to give me a roll to see how well you detach from the dry dock.
Sure, why not?
Don't scratch up the ship just yet.
I think at this point, both me and Wesley have actually stumbled onto the observation, onto the bridge there, we've maybe had a wee bit to drink.
Weasley can handle his alcohol. He's a hardened member of middle management. So
Not the way I'm mixing them.
it's true. Your body mass is a little larger.
Yeah.
Yes, as you get the ship ready, the departure from the dry dock goes without a hitch. It is a rather straightforward job of going straight forward. The only penalty you're having is the number of drinks you've had so far before attempting this dangerous maneuver. Luckily, though, it's still in its early phases of affecting you, and you manage to scout your way out towards the great jump gates waiting nearby the Mars colony. As you approach them, a standard greeting comes through asking for payment to be authorized for engagement of the power units of the jump gate to allow you passage to hyperspace. And the charge is apparently 500 credits. Do you wish to accept this charge?
Just a crucial question. Have we actually collected our package, or do we need to go somewhere and then collect them? It would be a shame to leave them behind.
No, don't worry, Wesley, we're having to go to Centauri Prime. We have nothing.
Well, alright, you read the map. Just
I call Wesley like, hey, they need your bank book.
yeah, okay. He sort of casually just sort of tosses it. I know what the balance is.
Right. The payment of 500 credits is accepted without a fuss, and the great portals, the 4 pylons spread up, and they light, creating a vortex of yellow and orange. No, wait, blue. Blue is the one, the color that is sucking you into the vortex, and you find yourselves in a great mass of red and black surroundings at the hyperspace that will take you towards Centauri Prime. And as you make it to the hyperspace, Fear takes his position at the astrogation unit and fiddles around with it, doing some calculations, and says, alright, that's ready. We got the course set. Unless there is a problem, we should be in Centauri Prime in a matter of 6 days.
How many jump gates we're going through then?
It should be 2 jump gates. We have to drop out at Epsilon Eridani and get out on the other side of the system. And from there on, it should be smooth sailing all the way to Centauri Prime.
Alright then, thanks.
Not to worry. Now if I can hyperspace, it is so dull. It's all the same, but it's a little bit different. But the researchers would like to research this. It's a side hobby. I give to other researchers some data from the sensor arrays, but this isn't the fun stuff. I like planets and nebulae and other stuff in real space. That is magnificent.
I'm just looking at out of the window, and I'm just going, yeah. It's hyperspace has never sat right with me. It just looks too angry, too much like a storm.
Yeah, just like all the Narns, red and black spots all around.
Though I think hyperspace, we can agree with the Narn in regards to the Narns. Hyperspace is a lot safer.
Yeah, I will cut that. I have heard of rumors from my fellow scientists that they have spotted actual life beings going around in hyperspace without mechanical support structures to hold in oxygen or such. It is wild research. And rumors just like the Earthlings call what is that dragon. Or was it duck?
Wait, what now?
Yes.
There's dragons flying out in hyperspace, is that what I'm hearing?
Only if you believe in children's fairy tales.
It's old stories, Noah. We used to actually use these stories to scare the children to sleep. No one believes in them. They're fantasy.
Yeah, well, I'm not scared of no dragons, real or not.
I am sure you are not. You seem most a strong and capable man.
Yeah.
So, who is in for a little game of Ducati?
So, say that again, man.
Who's in for a game of Ducati?
You haven't played? It's closest equivalent is poker for you humans.
Oh, well, I'll play some poker.
Oh, right.
I'm in.
Oh, wonderful.
You, yes.
I will bet, I say minimum bet is 2 tickets And I will start with the dealing. And as you settle down to play the gambling associate, the time of the travel goes by rather smoothly until there is no random event. Okay.
Sadness.
With all the sadness aside, your ship arrives in the Centauri space in exactly 6 days. This making your journey lasting from 1st of January to 7th of January of 2258. And as you move to the Centauri homeworld system, you see the plethora of the Centauri ships. Sleek, shiny, plenty of crescent shapes in the shapes of one of the Centauri moons, flying past with wings of ancient imperial glory as you approach it. The Centauri friend or foe system requires identifications, but since you have an experienced Centauri pilot with you, your codes pass without a hitch, and you make it to the local space station, where, according to your information, you will have a company waiting for you, which would be the detachment ready to give you the ambassador to transport. And indeed, as you dock your shuttle, by the way, who gets on board of the shuttle going for the space station?
Oh, yeah.
It's going to definitely be Landis there. I have to be seen, right? So,
Yeah.
so I'm done up in my full dress uniform, like, okay, I don't have any active surface pips, but I've got the rest of the formal uniform worn on, my commendations there, once I do have, and it's like, just like tweaking out there. Back at home.
I don't think I've ever been here. Centauri Prime this far out.
You do not know what you've missed. The center of civilization. Beauty, art, culture.
It looks like nothing I've ever seen at Earth anyways. This is quite strange and beautiful after all.
Yes, indeed, my friend. Right, let's get the ship ready and get that brother-in-law of mine here.
All right, let's do it.
Nice. Only the two of you are going.
Yeah, Zadora will remain on the ship in order to avoid Landis's wife. He only met her very briefly, but
I kind of maybe suggested. I looked at how he had got his hair done and went, yeah, Wesley, I think Ariana's gonna spot it still here, there. Maybe Centauri woman, very passionate. Just no, let's not get into that wrath of that sort of space dragon that is called Centauri woman. Just let her not see you in the first place. Yes. Nice talking to you. And I just walk off there, not letting Wesley have a word.
Premier, you coming along too?
No. I'm staying on the ship.
All right then.
In her monologue, Femi's just like, Centauri minds, they're just too pretentious for him. That's go down there.
I learned everything I need to know about the Centauri and the Minbari War, It's me, Femi, and the Nan commiserating together.
The Dujar, your non-mechanic, comments that the only smart choice about Centauri Prime is to stay away from it. He looks out of the window and apparently holds back spit. You can almost hear the spit glands churning for more ammo. But the shot never comes, and the shuttle instead glides by the observation window as it moves towards the space station. On the station, it takes you about the moment the airlock opens for a cheery, sharp voice to greet you. Landis! It is so good to have you home.
And who am I find myself in front of there?
And it is indeed your wife and her sister more reserved, of course, holding the hand of her brother who is this stocky Centauri with the fidgety hands and nervous glances all around, and his hair up high, seeming like they've been stretched beyond their limits just to meet up with the hate standard out of the rush, not having the time to grow up properly to the proper fan of an ambassadorial worker. And his outfit so out of character that must have been made in the last 15 minutes because it doesn't sit quite right, yet it's been impeccably tailored for him.
So I see my wife, I see my family, smile on my face, I breathe all in, and it's like straight my back up, and I go, beloved!
Husband, and she comes in hugging and giving a kiss on the cheek. Clearly, this would not happen at your home, but as you are in a public space station where there is more than enough people walking around to see it, she goes with the traditional Centauri way of keeping up the facade.
I then, well, it's a shame that I have been so far away from home. I will try and come back sooner, asking your glory.
Those sweet words. They soothe my longing for you, as do your new rank and title as a captain of a human ship. It is not often a Centauri gets this honor, especially one who owns a ship of human design, as crude as it is. But it is still better than no ship, which you had in the Navy.
My dear, I can understand it is crude, but at the same time, it does have its own charm. The humans do make good ships. Hopefully, I'll be able to make some upgrades that will make it a wee piece of home there. And of course, I then just quickly make it look like I've just glanced for your brother-in-law. Congratulations in order.
Hello, Landas. It is good to meet you too. I'm so sorry that you had to come all this way to get me. It was not my idea. I could have taken the transport, no problem.
Fear! Your family! There's nothing to worry about. I would have done it. I would have fought for the darn regime to do this for you. No, don't worry about it. I am here for you, brother-in-law.
So it is good to have a royal family. But still, it's an imposition. I made sure that the diplomatic corps will give you a stipend for this. So it's nothing big. Good enough for much, but enough to cover your running costs, I hope. Shall we then get going? Landas, I see you changed your human servant. This one seems much better. Is quiet and is not speaking. Has the hair just right.
Yeah, Colonel Malone, nice to meet you.
Oh, is that what is that rank? Is that slave or better?
It's Ariana. It's E6 human military, my dear.
Like sergeant.
We bet
sort of like that, just a little bit better.
Yeah,
it's all good, ma'am. I'll make sure to take care of your man here for you.
Oh, I like this one. He has a bearing of a brutish warrior.
Well, thank you.
You're in good hands, my brother. I will be so proud to see your picture when they post it on the Centauri News when you take your new position. But go along now. You must not tarry. We are already a day late because of your tardiness. But you can make it up by being fast. Scurry along.
Yes, beloved, of course. My sentiments and my greetings to our family, of course.
Meanwhile, you've been talking, of course, the docking workers have loaded up Weir's few belongings to the ship, which is essentially 2 briefcases, and that's about it. Weir quite humbly gets on the shuttle, looks around, and like, it's smaller than I thought, but this should do fine. And he goes and takes one of the seats and is ready to go whenever you are. As you make it out, considering you are in a polite state of drunkenness for a Centauri, you have no issues flying this shuttle back and forth, as it is more nimble than the great big yacht that you use for your base ship. You make it safely back to the dock on the, how did you pronounce it? Jacaranda.
While this is happening, I would like to just be kind of scanning the surface thoughts of people on the ship, making sure there are no threats to the Earth Alliance.
As you are scanning, you can feel this. Every time you are near the Centauri lady Miana, She has this, as she looks around, there is this sort of a warm sensation of caring and affection. But every time the Narn comes into view, it always immediately goes towards this mixed feeling of hatred and gentle respect for some aspect of him. But other than that, you're pretty certain that their relationship is not on a healthy basis. But none of the three aliens on board are harboring any ill will towards the Alliance.
Okay, I go back to drinking.
That is always a valid option. As you wait, eventually the ship glides in and the esteemed ambassador is let on board. As he arrives to the ship, obviously he needs accommodation. You do have a free room, as is, for guest personnel to use. However, he is, after all, the most high-ranking of you on the ship. Which room will he get?
I'm happy to do a friend a favour, but look, I'm not letting a Centauri anywhere near my personal bar after what happened last time. There are some very expensive liqueurs in there. It's non-negotiable.
Of course, it's like, I'll be, of course, walking up to Wesley. I could just go, right, Wesley, I will personally, you can watch me and I will help you carry your liquor anywhere else in the ship and secure it for you, and then you can secure it in any other way that I do not know about. But it's just make a good impression there. He's a neat man. He will not wreck your room. Unlike me, you know what I'm like. You probably actually leave your room cleaner than it's ever been.
Look, he's going to Babylon 5. He's going to be a diplomat. We'll spin this as something else. Look, put him in standard accommodation, and we will tell him it is cross-cultural training to prepare him for Babylon 5. And look, we can even build a family for him. It's good. He'll adjust, you know. Open his eyes up to how the rest of us live. Except myself.
I don't know, man. This is supposed to be some wiggity-whack, high-ranking Philodin guy. Maybe we should just give him the best room we got. Heck, once he gets to Babylon 5, we might be able to get some, some extra favors from it. I'm just saying we show this man some respect that the ambassadorship deserves. No offense, Wes.
Mutiny, is it? Already?
I mean, you could always stay in my room, but there's all that weights and bars and exercise equipment in the corner. I don't think he'd be comfortable.
Not to mention the gun grease.
Yeah, how's he with firearms?
It's either that or we let him have my room.
I think, given he is your brother-in-law, that's appropriate.
Fine. You can have my room.
Well, Landis, you could stay with me if you don't want to take one of the other rooms.
There's always the cells.
No, we got extra rooms and all, but I'm just saying, you get lonely, you can come stay with me for a bit.
I'm gonna need a drink and eat there, and you can make sure I don't go over the top like I sometimes do.
It's decided then. I'm glad we worked that out.
Me too.
So, of course, I'm gonna turn back around and go, Fear, there's been an unfortunate incident. The Ambassadorio Lounge, there's been a terrible mistake. It's still getting retrofitted. But as you're my brother-in-law there, you will have my room, which is the second best room on the ship.
Oh, no. I couldn't impose. I would be fine with any garrison.
Fear. Listen, you've got to take advantage of your position. You are Centauri.
If you insist.
Of course I insist.
Very well. If you can show me to the room, I will sit on myself.
This way, Fear, this way.
And the most humble Centauri ambassador bumbles away with his father-in-law towards the regular staterooms of your ship to settle himself into the Landis' quarters. Meanwhile, Landis gets to have his place in one of the previously empty spaces that has not been properly cleaned before your arrival, as it has not been earmarked for anyone, so there's still a bit of construction leftovers here and there, some duct tape over places that didn't need to be touched, and, the usual. It will take some time to clean it up, but it will be livable at least.
So, of course, I'm just going with, I've slept in worse. I've got to remember that. Yes. Thank you, Noah, for
give me some space for me to accommodate me.
Oh, sure, buddy. We go way back. Ain't nothing about it. Don't worry.
That was a nasty business there, wasn't it?
Yeah, but you know what? We came out of it all right, and that's all that matters. Anyways, let's get this sucker moving. Moving. You figure out how much we're going to be making out of this? We got a lot of rent. I mean, this is going to be a very expensive ship after all.
This one, Wesley might not like it. We might potentially make a wee bit of a loss. But it's the favors. It's the favors that are going to earn us the money down the line.
Oh, yeah, I get it. Family's important, buddy. Whatever is good for your family is good for us.
Exactly. And this is the thing. It's not only that, but Malari, it's a weird one. Malari's family has power and prestige. They could be on the out if you humans are able to work this Babylon 5 into what you say it will be. Malari might have influence again. Helping Fear and helping his staff might give us connections that we might not have. Hell, even if Malari gets kicked out the next day, as long as we get Fear in place, there's other ambassadors there. Other worlds, other species. Business might be at Babylon 5 that has never been seen before, Noah.
Yeah, I got it, man. This is all good for everybody. We got to make a business out of this. This is step number 1. Make them contacts. Get those high-ranking places. I got a few in the military. Plus, we get Babylon 5. I know a few of those people. This will be good all the way around. I'll make sure to show him the ropes and treat him good. Make sure nothing happens to him. You can count on me, Landis.
That's no problem, Noah. Right. Maybe it's time we get back to the bridge and see what's going on.
Yeah, good idea.
Meanwhile, there has been a series of calculations done on the bridge to make sure the astrogation route towards the S01E01 system, which is the system housing the famous Babylon 5 station you are headed towards in the neutral territory between the four mighty states of Centauri and non-human and Minbari. This neutral space station, as you are heading course from here, should take you only 3 days to reach it. And as you are all quite well in your positions and nobody is getting out of the way wasted, the trip should be fairly easy. However, as you are in hyperspace, there comes a tight beam transmission. And there is a personal message at the Femis terminal.
I turn it on.
As Femi goes to the terminal, there is a simple email. Nothing unusual. There is a message saying, Mr. Femi, it is come to our attention that you are our only agent in the area capable of intercepting this particular transport. We wish you to engage it, disable it, and retrieve its travel logs for our use. The ship is transporting some culturally valuable artifacts stolen during the Earth-Minbari War. What you do with those artifacts is no concern of ours. Consider it a reward for the task at hand. As usual, we prefer no witnesses. Signed, Enoch Brown.
I just shake my head. It's like, in here I thought it was going to be an easy day.
As you peruse the information, there is attached a few files, essentially travel plans of the ship and the blueprint of the ship and crew manifest. Crew manifest has a pilot, an astrogator, and a mechanic. Just standard. No names though, which is unusual. Unusually sloppy for the people you work with. However, on top of that, there is a manifest of several artifacts on the cargo hold, all in generalized terms like painting, oil, statue, bronze, and so forth. On top of that, there is also the flight plan of the ship from here on out. Unfortunately, it is departure date and departure time from Babylon 5 towards the S01E01 secondary gate, which is the one you will be entering the system, which is much further away out of Babylon 5 sensor range. This is where you would have the only opportunity to intercept it, but only if you do not go to Babylon 5 first. You also have a feeling that this is not a polite request.
Yeah. They never are.
What, they forget to say please?
Did only Fremy get the request?
Yep, but it says.
Yeah.
You mean this thing Psychop isn't telling us? Sure. Emotionally hurt.
So, assuming if I were to change flight plans unknowingly to everybody, the only people who would probably notice are the other pilot and the astrogator, correct?
Pretty much, yes.
And you'll have some very annoyed Centauris.
I want to try.
Go on.
I would like to try to suggest to my astrogator that there may be a alternate way we can travel to Babylon 5.
There is. This is the official one. There is no. What do you mean alternate way? You mean the secondary gate?
And try to lie is what he's trying to say.
I was like, "Are you sure?" And I'm going to telepathically suggest this in his head.
Yes, as you try to manage his mind, he simply just shrugs and says, "I am sure this is the official one, but if you do have an alternate, I am just working here. You are a partner."
Okay, then I just tell him, just change the flight. Just change the flight. Man.
Okay. If you insist, it will make it a couple of hours longer out, but it is your prerogative.
Yeah. And then I'm going to go talk to Zadora. Yes.
Yes, come in.
So, I know we haven't had a chance to talk lately, but I have some contacts from my heyday.
Mm.
And it seems that there's a ship that has some stolen art and different items that Earth Alliance is asking us to acquire. And they're asking if we could pick it up for them.
Much though I hate to pry into your affairs, Femi, which part of the Earth Alliance? It's not one of Daddy's enemies, is it?
No. This is all above board.
Hmm.
You know, it was one of those senator friends that, I met back in the day.
Well, it's always good to have more friends in both Centauri space and the Earth Alliance.
And
especially if we're going to Babylon 5.
And the best thing is on our way to Babylon 5. We just have to take a slight detour, but we'll be able to do 2 jobs, increase our profit, and, none the worse for wear.
Oh, good. I knew there was a reason I had you on as a partner.
All right. So you're good with this?
Yep. He sort of waves a hand behind him.
Oh.
Goes back to sort of staring at dodgy neoclassical art.
All right. And as soon as I walk out, I'm like, I'm getting too old for this bullshit. And just kind of walk somewhere.
All right. How about the rest of you? As this takes the 3 days, would you like to associate yourself with somebody on the ship? One of the crew, perhaps, or the ambassador himself?
I think my role to my family is making sure that Fear doesn't make an ass of himself in front of, he's going to be an ambassador. There's no way I want him to make an ass of himself, embarrass my family, his family, and Marie's family, because we're all related to him. So I would actually get across them. Yes, it's all these, the old protocols. You start from the outside, work all the way in when it comes to the cutlery, pinky out and all that sort of stuff, Take my time and just going through. And stop apologising for everything!
I'm sorry. So sorry.
Stop right there!
I'm sorry.
No, you're Centauri! Be proudful!
Okay.
I would also go to Noah's room, also.
There is a knock on a Noah's Spartan door.
Yeah, come on in, buddy.
Hey, man. How's it going?
Oh, just keeping things nice and tight.
All right.
How
Just
about yourself?
Doing good. I'm still alive.
Something on your mind there, friend? Looks like something's been troubling you lately. Why don't you set a spell and let's chat it out? Drink?
Always.
I pull out a special bottle that's still sealed. I don't drink myself anymore, but I don't mind sharing a drink with a friend of mine. Here you go.
And I don't mind taking a drink from a friend.
What's on your mind? Spill it.
All right. Looks like we're going to be taking a slight detour. There seems to be a ship that's ran away with some things that don't belong to them. there could be some issues.
You're telling me we're gonna go out there and steal some shit back? Now, are we the good guys or the bad guys in this scenario?
In my mind, I'm always the good guy.
Well, I suppose that's good. Bad folks took some stuff, a whole bunch of money, hostages, credits, jewelry, technology. What we got one after?
It's a little bit of everything.
All right. Well, I don't think there's a problem with that.
Right.
There's going to be some good pay for this, right?
Of course. Have I ever let you down?
No, you haven't. All right, then. What do you need from me?
Just make sure you come well armed.
Oh, with this guy? Oh, I got this.
All
I
right.
pull out a very, very long rifle, and it's got all the attachments. Yeah, this boy's got laser mounted, scope, laser buzz-stop, foldable stock, lightweight, full auto. Is this going to be good enough for you, buddy?
Whatever you need.
Oh, it's going to be one of those missions, then.
Yeah.
All right.
I walk out. I'm definitely not going to Landis. I tell him nothing.
In the background, I start dismantling for the third time all my, pistols, different stealth knives, putting them in my boot, one in my back pocket, re-cleaning the gun, readjusting the sights, and shining up old Betsy, little battle armor that I have from leftover in the days.
Still bearing the brave mark of duct tape you had on it when you patched it up.
Yes,
We've
full
all heard the
scratches,
story.
divots, marks, duct tape fixes everything in my book.
What of Wesley? Are you going to be interacting with anyone?
There's going to be a call over the crew intercom, letting everyone know that as the captain of the ship, I have been noticing some recent tensions. And because there is an Earth Force-backed tax credit for crew diversity and retraining, we are going to have a mandated sensitivity and understanding session in the cafeteria at 8 p.m. sharp, because I need to defray as many costs as I can on this yacht. And for the purpose of the paperwork, you're all 3 people.
And what about you guys? Are you going to be there 8 o'clock sharp, including you, Wesley?
Absolutely.
I will be there at 750 hours.
No, I'm in my room hungover.
I'll be there with bottle in one hand and a glass in the other hand. There. Just going.
Sensitivity training. What the hell is this? You're either strong or you're weak, or you're a man or female. It doesn't matter.
Well, 8 o'clock sharp. Those present are everyone except your brave pilot, still hangover in his room. But surprisingly, the first 3 there are your marine, who upon entering finds out that there is Dujar and Veer already there, in deep discussion about something. There's something held in the language of the Centauri, which in this case is not for some reason translating into your automatic translation software. But as they are talking, they seem to be in rather amicable terms, which is until the doors open and in waltzes Miana with her flowing dress and gaze that immediately turns into eyes as she notices Dujar in the room and goes, "Oh, he's here as well?"
Well, hello, yeah, we're supposed to all here get along,
I suppose we can get along with savages. At this point, the ambassador raises up, flustering a little like being caught red-handed in a cookie jar, and going, hello, Lady Miana. Nice to see you two again. And the situation goes into an awkward silence from there on out, as the rest of the crew follows in fear pretty quickly after that, and Wesley and Landis almost colliding at the door as they get in.
Ah, Sadora. No. You go in first.
Very well. Hey, Wesley's in there with a clipboard. Normally he's very lackadaisical, but he knows how to run a meeting. So he's up front with the clipboard, surveying the crew with one steely eye because his other one is fucked. Attendance, everyone. If you're here, please raise your appendage. Good. Excellent.
What appendages do you want me to raise? Because some of them are not for public.
Ooh.
See?
How many do you have? Are you up to 3 already?
I'm assuming you mean my hand.
This is exactly why I called this meeting. And you can see he's If everyone who raises an appendage, he's taking off 3 things on the list. Right, I've been noticing some tension in the ship, and the issue is, we're a very mixed crew, and this is for tax purposes, but I run a tight ship, and I want a ship that can run smoothly and with the minimum of fuss. Now, can anyone tell me what they think may be some of the issues that are present on the ship?
There's not enough weaponry, sir.
Yes.
There is this issue that your technically free servant is rather uppity.
What's the Nan saying to this?
The non is like, you should see real uppity. Let's take you from Centauri Prime into non-homeworld. See how uppity you get.
This is when, Landis is just,
Listen, folks, the way I see things, we're all just people. We just look different, but we all live in the same place. Big, vast universe. As long as we stay to each other's corners and respect each other, we should be fine. Isn't that right, Fur?
Fur looks at the marine and shrugs and, yeah, it is indeed a big universe. I have been studying it for entire life and still have plenty to go. I have not even finished one star system completely, but who needs all of the star system when only a percent of it is important? Veer, on the other hand, was already saying something and then noticing the other one speak and you're Veer? No, I am Veer. Ah, I am Veer. Yes, yes, I know. Ambassador? Oh, no. Oh, just 8. Just 8, not the real ambassador. The ambassador is Molari. House Molari, London Molari. I have not heard that name, but good for you. The 2 fears finish the discussion rather swiftly there, and then suddenly everybody's looking at Wesley like, okay, is there anything else, sort of thing?
Look, we're on an Earth Alliance flagship, so as far as I'm concerned, we obey Earth Alliance law. We get on with each other. There is no sniping among crew where I can see it or where the public can see it. If you have complaints, they go through me, and I will sort them out. I don't want to see anyone taking anything into their own hands. And I know we have issues in recent history between all our species, but that's the end of it. Not here, not now. It's a new future, and I need my crew running at maximum efficiency because I don't pay you to bicker with each other.
Drujar is the first to nod, and he said, that's the thing I like about humans. They can see through the unimportant parts.
At this point, I'm just going to go, well, in the spirit of cooperation, and I start pouring a drink out, hand the glass to Drujar, and pour another one for myself, and I go, I am happy to drink a toast to our fellow Narn, and wish him long life and prosperity.
Yes, live long and prosper.
Right about now is when I will walk in and be like, are we still having a meeting?
Oh, drinks.
Oh, Femi, come on in. We're just about to finish up, but come on in anyways.
I walk back out.
That was very funny of him. Either way, is this concluded? Can I go back to my research, or...?
Absolutely. Just make sure we don't get lost. And I assume Femi has talked to you about our new rep?
Oh, yes, Femi had me plotting the route some time ago, yes. But we are already on the route for the new destination.
Sadora, what do you mean by course correction?
Simply a new approach that we feel is good for experimental data collection. Astrogator can tell you more, but I don't want to hype it up too much.
How much of a delay is it going to be?
Look, the delay is not meaningful for the purpose of our diplomatic
Sadora,
careering. Careering?
Sadora,
You know what I mean.
we can carouse and we can talk politely all day long. Let's cut the shit and actually just tell me straight up how many hours are we delaying the journey?
Like, what, 3 days?
But don't worry, we won't be charging the diplomatic corps for the extra time.
I am just having to think.
what I'm going to have to say to my wife and my family. You could have told me a wee bit earlier.
Vagaries of space travel. Look, we're doing them a favor. The least they can do is be grateful.
They are going to be grateful, but you got to remember, these are two admirals we're talking about, and one of them was my grandfather.
I am saying this with the blithe confidence of someone who's not married to your wife, so, it probably rubs the wrong way.
And I can say, sir, you'll probably be thankful that you're not married to my wife when I have to give her the news of the delay.
Exactly, you're giving her the news. Good man.
Yeah. We might wish to have more armor on this yacht.
That's what I keep saying. But they won't listen. They say it's not in the budget.
How's our soon-to-be career diplomat taking all this? Is he sort of cowering at a corner, or...?
Veer is fidgeting his thumbs and looking elsewhere, trying to not impose him on the internal conversations and be a burden, instead just... So, Dugar, how are the forests on Nam doing?
I just hear that, I'm going, fear! My apologies, my dear brother-in-law can sometimes get a bit foolish, we'll just say. I apologize for any offense he may have caused you.
Oh, he seems perfectly affable to me. If only more Centauri could follow his example.
For a briefest moment, anybody looking in that direction sees a glow on Veer as he's being complimented, before Landers gets to take a glance, at which point it dies immediately and turns back into trying to gaze some other direction, looking like he wasn't listening.
I think I have a communication that will probably strip my backside from even here to make. Excuse me, gentlemen. Gadar, Veer, it might be better if you're with me. You can probably save me from your sister.
Of course, if you think I'm gonna be any help with that.
You can tell her, and I'm just gonna grab him. This way, Veer.
The poor Centauri diplomat is being dragged across the ship to the diplomatic quarters on board.
Basically, as we're leaving, you can tell her how it's not my fault.
Oof, I hate to see that conversation.
Meanwhile, Miana rolls her eyes and says, "Such a stature, but he doesn't bear it well, does he? It is a shame to be with a puppet diplomat." And she walks away, possibly towards her own quarters. Dujar looks at the rest of you and goes, "I assume this is over. May I return to doing the checks on the maneuvering drives?"
Before you leave, can everyone please sign the clipboard so I can file the paperwork with Earth Force Administration?
Mm-hmm. At this point, half of the crew has already left anyway, so...
Right. I felt we made progress.
This fine little meeting earns you apparently half of the signatures. So Dugar and yourselves and apparently Malone's. Femi's was never there anyway. 3
I'll sign
is
up.
better than nothing.
Oh, it's good. 34 people through sensitivity and cultural training.
You know what, Zadoro? I think that meeting went just fine. Good job.
Thank you.
Next on the docket is obviously a discussion that is better left for R-rated audience. And we will go towards the exit from hyperspace part of this journey, near Epsilon Eridani, where your ship comes out of the jump gate. Have to pay the steep sum once more for using the gates. They are greedy sort of bunch that way, forcing you to pay for services. How dare they? Anyway, you make it to the Epsilon Eridani system, and what is your course of action? The immediate vicinity around the secondary jump gate is mostly empty, outside of the pylons themselves and a few odd planets off in the distance, far, far away. Now, of course, the beacon of Babylon 5 is transmitting its coordinates so you can follow it at your leisure. Otherwise, it's nothing unusual.
Is this close to where we're supposed to be intercepting some sort of transport ship? Captain, if I may recommend make a suggestion. Let's go into stealth mode and put scanners to the topmost, and let's figure out what we're getting ourselves into.
Very good. You're the professional.
All right, you heard them, folks. Get to your stations, keep lights down, motors at the minimum. Let's go into shutdown mode and give me a scan of the surrounding areas. I want visuals, I want traffic signals, I want everything. Get Hood to it. Hood!
Mm-hmm. Is this how all human military operates?
Yes. Are you seeing anything on your screens?
Well, I do have a single ship headed towards us, bearing 725. It seems to be a shuttle, only about as big as the one we have in our shuttle bay. A bit bigger, perhaps. At this range, it is impossible to have that sort of accuracy. But, yeah, it's not a big ship, less than 100 tons.
So if that's the only shuttle out here, can you tell from here if it's got jump drives?
That size ship, I would say, not possible. Well, on Tiari, perhaps. Maybe the Midbari have small enough hyperdrives for that.
That's a little bit of a small ship to be out here in this big great void.
It's probably coming from the jump gate behind us.
Good point. I hadn't thought of that.
Does this match the description of what I was told?
Yes, as you double check with your files, taking up your pad and flipping through, yes, you match the silhouette with the one on the screen, and yeah, you would say it's a match. Definitely. Right. According to your data files, the ship has no outwards weapons, which is most often with these civilian transports.
Okay, so remind me again, what all I'm just supposed to get the stuff back?
Only thing you are supposed to get is the travel logs.
The travel logs, and then no witnesses.
No witnesses. These are what you must do. Anything else, though? Yeah.
Okay.
So, Frammy, what's the plan here?
I say that we move to intercept. We are the bigger ship.
We hail them, tell them we're going to board.
Yeah, we get what we are supposed to get, and then let them be on their way.
What kind of crew is this people? Do you know anything about what type of people they're on there?
Just your usual discredited individuals. It shouldn't be much of a threat once we're on the ship.
All right, then. Zadora, you want to hail them then, or what?
Look, if we're gonna be boarding, you might as well get close and then hail them before they can escape. No point in giving them a heads up. It would be just like they haven't seen us. Our senses are bigger. It'll just be like Black Star. We wait and then we get them.
All right, well, you heard us. Let's get them up close. Get stuff ready to go. Start hailing them, and I'll start making preparations to what needs to happen for boarding party and for contact if we need it.
All right. Just generally monitoring. I don't know if we're technically in ship combat yet, so...
Technically, since it's one-on-one, it's not a ship combat until somebody engages with the hostilities. As you sit silently waiting at the jump portal in the near vicinity of it, presumably, the ship does indeed travel towards the gates, and as it approaches to the nearby coordinates you described, what are your actions? It doesn't seem to notice you in any manner.
Zadora, we're going to communicate with them or not? Or we're just going to throw a couple warning shots across the bow?
Can we forcefully dock it? Or take it in like...
Yes, that is possible if the pilot is skilled enough. Unfortunately, they have a huge advantage in the fact that they have a larger engine compared to their ship size, so they are fast. They can outrun you if you don't succeed at one attempt.
Look, we can't risk these people getting away with this ship. We have our orders from Earth Alliance. Aim to disable them.
We could also do an onboarding ship. We got boarding pods, too, if we want to do this a little bit without them even noticing.
All right, that's a plan.
All right, then. So, we're going to either disable them or go in straight from the top. Make your decision there, Cap.
We'll board them. It'll be just like old times. Oh, I've gotten sick of sitting behind a desk.
Roger that. All right, crew. We're going to start heading down, and whatever little preparations need to be happening, get it for the ready.
So, essentially, since you only have one launching tube, I'm allowing you to have this epiphany when you do it before.
You do it? Yeah. It's only one tube, so we...
It's only one tube.
You had this epiphany like 15 minutes ago, so you had time to prepare.
Okay.
All right.
Since you only have one of the launch tubes, you have to manually recharge and put more than one. So you have a total of 6 launch capsules. So how many of you are gonna fit themselves into it?
How many people can we stick in per launch capsule?
One. It's
One.
designed for one person only. This is the small type, not the military grade 5 people or so forth, but this is the smallest one you can find on the market.
And how many people did my information say were on the ship again?
According to your information, 3 people. Pilot, astrogator, and mechanic.
Okay.
So in essence, we could either send all 4 of us, or even more of the crew if they want to. We have a backup pilot that could keep us at bay, or we could just send this partial crew for all 4 of us and then being sent.
Unfortunately, you have no combat crew, and the only one even willing to do combat, your Drasi crew member, has had his sick leave for now, and will join you when you talk with Babylon 5 the next time.
Yeah, I wasn't counting on them come down with us. I wouldn't put the new guys on in any sort of danger anyways.
So you think the best action is just move to disable?
Yeah.
Move to disable, then board them.
Yeah.
All right.
This is when, Landis comes out, he's going, what's with all the acceleration?
Look, go keep your brother company for a couple hours.
Yeah. The big boys are talking.
This is Earth Alliance business. Like I was saying previously, this is an Earth Alliance flagged vessel, so,
Is this something where we are wanting deniability for certain individuals?
look, I like your brother. He's a nice kid, but he doesn't need to see this.
Fine. But try and keep it quiet. The louder it is, the more questions he's going to ask.
Look, tell him it's some strange human thing. Training exercises or something.
I'll think of something.
So, Noah, are you heading towards the turrets to shoot it, or are you heading towards the breaching ports to be ready to board?
Let's go over to the, I'll get over to the turrets and start getting the stuff spraying. Take off that piece of plastic that's on here. Oh boy, let's see what this sucker can do.
What range are we currently in?
You can choose any range up to short to be where you begin your assault on them. Short being the shortest range, they will go past far enough to not get any closer than that.
Yeah. So you guys will zoom into short range and then.
Yeah, danger close.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Or a little bit past that. We disable them, then go in one step further.
Yeah. So you decided to start with short range, or will you prefer medium?
Medium range, please.
Before they come closer than medium, or after they go away from you?
Before they get closer to me. I mean, my goal is to try to catch up a little bit as we're getting close to it at the medium spot, hit them in their ends, or to try to disable their forward motion.
Okay, since you have lots of time, the route is predictable. You can make an educated guess where they're going to end up in. That means you get a nice shot and you can even aim it. So I'll give you an additional +2 for the shooting check.
All right.
I'm counting on you.
Yeah, so am I. Well, heck. Here I am trying to fire this weapon, and I'm trying to get used to these new buttons. These controls sure are weird. Not standard Earth Force. There we go. Boom, boom.
That's a disabling hit. The engines of the ship sputter out and it begins to let out the smoke beneath it as a contrail against the darkness of space. That is when they open up their communications array, sending out rather immediate SOS. Fer, on the other hand, is on the command console and attempting to jam their communication.
Good man.
What communication?
Yes, what communications indeed. He apparently manages to silence the entire area. Not even your communication array is getting the Babylon 5 beacon anymore, as the system is made completely void of all transmissions. You are not entirely sure how he manages that. But he is a master of his art, apparently, and now you have a disabled ship in front of you. It is unable to dodge, however it retains its momentum, carrying on forwards towards the jump gate.
Estimated time before he floats towards the jump gate and is able to float?
About 5 minutes.
All right.
But we can move the ship pretty much close to it and begin boarding.
Yes, you can.
All right.
Yes, you take your big, luxurious yacht next to this half-blown-up shuttle, docking one of your airlocks against their airlock, securing it in place, catching only minor paint job on your side. Something that should be covered with a brush and a couple of hours in the dock, or just holding still and using an EVA. So, either way, you now have connection to the airlock, which no doubt is noticed by whoever is inside that ship.
All right, before we do anything, I was like, all right, guys, when we get over there, they're going to lie to us. They're probably going to say a bunch of things that aren't true, but trust me when I say they are indeed lying.
All right. Once we get on board, what's our main objective? Just take their logs, leave them alive, or what?
Basically, we just take the stolen items from them. I will then interrogate the individuals, and then they will be free to seek help and then leave.
All right. Well, then I guess we better head down to the docking bay, pop it open, and get on through, right?
That's one way to do it.
All right.
So, who are taking part in the assault?
Oh, you know I am, brother.
Of course you are. Meanwhile, in London's, Viz ambassadorial quarters, the ambassador is... what is going on? What is that ruckus? Are we being under attack?
Fear, there's nothing to worry about. Sometimes the human ships, they like to test their weapon systems just to be 100% sure they're still working.
Is that another ship?
It's probably an asteroid. They're just using something for their target acquisition systems.
If you're certain, apparently you pull like, you know me, I'm from the Navy. I know how these humans work. I used to fight with them. Trust me, this is nothing alarming. They just want to try their weapons. And Weir is satisfied with the answer and trying to enjoy the show of blasting up an asteroid. Lucky for you, the ship spawns as it goes towards the so-called asteroid, and Weir does not get to see as the same object close enough to make a difference in the estimate of what it was. But he is a bit curious why there is a smoke trail behind an asteroid. But your explanation, no doubt, is more than suitable. Meanwhile, the invasion crew gets ready at the gates of battle, setting themselves up against the airlock, connecting the two ships. So there is only one door between you and them. It is theirs. How do you plan to breach it?
Well, I got a torch kit. It'll take a couple minutes. Or we could just, I don't know. I'd hate to use explosives for this type of work, it being so close to our ship.
Yeah, look, do you know how much the wood paneling in here costs? Use the torch kit.
Yeah, very well. I grab it from my back pocket, already having, prepared for this eventuality, and start doing the laser torching slowly thing where it zaps a small circle, a small trace around in a pattern, and then at some point we'll have to kick it open.
While he's doing that, can I cast life detection on the ship?
You can try, but you need to put your hand on the metal to actually get your senses through it. It's thick enough to block psionic talents otherwise. Of course, you can try touching it from the side that is not being burned at the moment.
Yes, I will do that.
Yeah, there is definitely 3 life signs on the other side. Except that there is a 4th one.
Oh, shit.
However, one of the first 3 that you notice is sort of fade, not all there. And the 4th one seems to be further away than the others, possibly beyond another obstacle, but it's still strong enough that you can feel it. Possibly some sort of small hidden compartment by your experienced investigative skill.
I would say be careful. There might be some tricks aboard the ship.
Roger that.
All right.
By this time, I think I'm done blowtorching an opening on the door.
Yep.
Whatever the lock points are that'll allow us to breach in there easily.
As an experienced Star Marine of several years of combat experience, you are well versed with the building open airlock. And as you are finished, you set aside your tools, pick up your other tool, and ready yourself. And as you kick in the door, I want you to roll initiative. Yeah, you all go before them, thanks to your military genius being able to tell you, okay, 3, 2, 1, and you dash in while the dust is still settling, your weapons raised, and as the dust fades, First to Femi, as he can scan through the area now without any interference from the bulkheads and armor plating. Yeah, there are indeed 3 alien mines in immediate vicinity with clear hostile intent. One of them cursing wounds, but all of them ready to shoot the first thing they see.
Which would be me.
But Femi is the quickest of you. And with your psionic talents, you can even shoot through the dust without actually needing to see any of these targets. But the shot is going to be somewhat random in direction.
Alright. So I will focus, I guess, on the nearest body.
Yep.
So I'm going to aim, and then I will shoot.
Alright, that's a solid hit. And there is this animal shriek as flesh burns. And next on the line is Wesley, the officer and the gentleman.
Is there sort of cover on the hallway, or are we just sort of breaching into the airlock?
You're breaching through the airlock into this space behind it, which seems to be some sort of cargo bay.
Wesley's going to bravely take cover if there is miscellaneous cargo within the cargo bay.
There is several metallic or plastic cargo crates in there, and you can heroically leap behind the cover as you go there, but that will end your action there. You'll be pretty much safe from any fire.
Perfect, yeah. He'll wait for the smoke to clear while the experts do their thing.
Yes, of course. All they need is your glorious leadership in this battle.
Exactly. Moral support.
Alright, next in the line of succession is Noah.
I activate the onboard personal HUD glasses. Friend or foe gets lit up, pull out the rifle. Could I use a minor action to engage and move forward?
That is essentially
Maybe not quite as melee, but I want to be...
up in their face.
Yeah, up in their face. All right, everybody. This is a boarding party. We have you. Surrender your weapons and you'll all live. And I will use my either action or minor actions left over to aim at the biggest one that's there.
So you go there and you try to intimidate these motherfuckers to surrender.
Right, and also as a bonus point, I want to be like the one in front so that if in case there's any fire, it comes to me.
Right, how would you describe that sort of effort?
Oh yeah. I step straight up and start scanning everybody, and then my battery pack on the rifle falls onto the ground and goes ding, 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 ding. Oh no!
So as your battery pack rolls down on the ground, the 3 nods look down at the pack, look back up at you, aim their weapons at the big guy, and all in unison fire their weapons at the well-armored enemy in front of them that made a mockery of what it is to be an Earth Alliance Marine. Yes, amazing grace plays in the background as your mighty Marine goes down in the first enemy volley. And that is the enemy's turn there. Next is Femi. Seeing his friend go down, his enemy is in not full fighting shape, but fighting shape. We can't hear you.
You're beautiful,
Yeah, I know. I'm still thinking about what I want to do. Because this went bad. Really quick.
This one bad.
Yeah, it's going to be an easy mission.
Okay. I want to use telepathy to basically just make them super scared. It's very afraid of us to,
Okay. Just because they've seen one of you guys go down in the immediate first volley, I will make that with a bane. Your attempts to influence an alien mind goes rather poorly. Your mind is just scattered between your own fear and trying to impose it on the enemy.
Yes. Well, then I will hide behind the other side of the airlock.
Okay.
Okay, next is Wesley behind the
Okay,
cover.
Wesley can see this is all going south, and he reaches into his field dress coat pocket for something he'd planned to save for later, but now's as good a time as any, and he brings out his MacGuffin firearm, which our GM can describe more closely.
From Wesley's pocket comes out this gleaming, clearly Centauri-made device, reminiscent of a flintlock pistol, but with a few variations, like the barrel being about the width of a fist, and it gleaming in the coppery sheen of yellow. He aims it at the enemies, pulls the trigger, and lets loose a bright blue flame that darts out of the barrel, straight through the Narn, and straight through the console, straight through the hull, and all the way outside, disintegrating the poor bastard and leaving a hole in the hull, causing an immediate decompression of the room. Wesley, Femi, what are you going to do? Wesley, in particular, is sort of expecting this, except that it does go a bit overboard with his expectations on how much damage there would be.
Can I intimidate as like a minor action, having just disintegrated one of them and their ship's now decompressing?
Sure, if you want to stick around intimidating them, yeah, go for it.
We're losing air. I mean, I can't see.
There's more where that will come from. Your ship's depressurizing. Come with us and you can live.
At this moment, would there be alarms going off?
No, not really alarms on your side, as it is beyond the airlock and
Right,
the airship.
okay.
But you do see a bright blue flash outside your window, greatly reminiscent of a Centauri iron cannon burst.
And I'm like, yeah, Afir, have you had a look at some of the art that Zadora has collected? It's not up to our standard, of course, but there's something intriguing about it.
Well, he's immediately distracted by the aspects of alien art. Meanwhile, inside the ship, the persuade check seems to go in the manner of weapons dropping, hands raising, and everybody then immediately regretting that and grabbing for something as the air flows out, especially since your airlock, well, luckily your own airlock is closed, so soon there will be empty. But, yes, you are in depressurizing zone, Femi.
How much work would it take for me to go get Malone and like pull him back towards the airlock?
How much work? I'm gonna say that's gonna be a strength athletics check. So you take a hold of him and you manage to hold him still against the air pressure. So you're gonna be there until the air is pressured down. The nuns, on the other hand, are clambering for their breathing apparatus so they can put on something before they suffocate, which may turn the battle as the vacuum soon starts to boil your skins, and none are known for the endurance. So, Wesley, you apparently are out of air.
I'm out of air.
Yeah,
This is
the
not
whole
good.
shuttle is now without air.
That wasn't clever.
First mission, folks. This is how TPKs happen.
Yep.
Okay, right. The Narn are going for some of their breathing apparatus, but they've dropped their guns.
Yeah.
Right, simple solution. As the Narn go for their gear, I will take some of that gear for myself and for my party.
So you're going for their breathing apparatus.
Yeah, hey, how interoperable is Narn and human breathing apparatus?
You both breathe oxygen, so it's a bit
That's good
different
enough for
mixture,
me.
but good enough. Roll me a post dexterity check to see who is faster.
I'm not going to oppose it. I'm just going to shoot the Narn as it goes for its gear.
Oh, if you shoot it, then that's a thing.
I'm not going to clamber around in space. Look,
Oh yeah, you got styled up.
my ion weapon is out of ammunition, unbeknownst to the Narn, so it's switching to the other one.
Yeah, the explosive decompression has affected your ability to shoot because the recoil of the weapon pushes the weapon back more than you anticipated, and you lose your balance as you do that, and the shot goes wild.
Oh no.
The nuns are now acquiring their breathing apparatus, putting them on their faces. First round for Femi without air. You have your companion in your hands, and he's now weightless.
Can I look around and see if there's any of these free breathing apparatus, or it was just like the 4 and that was it?
You got some. I mean, that's part of stock that we got. We all have those, like, I loaded up on a bunch of tools.
Then I would dig for my own and put it on.
It just looks like one of those little face masks or gas masks that has a clear shell that covers the whole face and just has like 2 big canisters of here.
That takes your action. Then you reacquire your hold on your unconscious companion, who is taking more damage as time goes.
That's what they tell you in airplanes. You put your mask on first.
After you comes Wesley.
Wesley remembers that he has a mask. Digs in his kit, slaps it on.
That's Wesley's turn
Big,
there.
clever gentleman he is. He goes, oh wait.
Oh, it was more important to try and stop the nun, of course. But now the nuns have their masks on, they have nothing to lose. They are gonna die of asphyxiation. You guys When you demoralize them, they hesitate for this round. They are just happy to breathe in almost fresh air, or freshly canned air. Next is Femi.
I'm just trying to see how much my character care about Malone. That's
really? You can do me
right.
like that now, buddy? All right.
I got a mission, man. I put the mask on Malone's face. I look at his mask and I put it on.
Okay.
Can I use like action to kind of like kick us to like a different tour away from somewhere, not just sit in the middle of somewhere?
Yeah. The problem is the vacuum is going to start doing damage sooner or later.
Okay.
Got the mask on me though now, right? Still.
Yeah. You now get air, so you're not suffocating any further. That's your turn there. You kick him away with the mask. Next is Wesley.
Right, so how long do these masks last for in terms of S-play?
10 minutes. And it's about 100 combat rounds.
Oh, we got time.
Okay, so they're going for their guns. I have my gun.
The vacuum is going to start doing damage to you sooner than the mask is going to run out of air.
Okay, I will cover the Narn with my firearm and make a sort of... I'll point it at my two crewmates and point it back at them and sort of make a come on motion as I sort of try and move back towards the airlock, meaning pretty clear.
Yeah, come with me or be shot.
Yeah.
The Narns take the hint and follow suit your instructions towards the airlock. This apparently being the only route they can take before being completely vaporized. As Wesley is herding the Narns back to the ship, what will Femi do?
We'll go to the airlock.
You take your friend through the airlock and to safety. Alright, you do that, and you get him to the other side, out of harm's way. You may, if you wish, perform first aid to him as you get inside your own ship. What do you do with the Narns who have surrendered?
Well, first, is everybody on like our side of the ship?
I imagine the other crew members know that something is up, and even if they're not engaged in combat, are willing to assist in, say, monitoring Narns.
Other than me, Zadora, unconscious Malone, is there anybody in the Narns? Is there anybody else in here?
No, this is the 0G area of the ship where the airlock is. So,
all right, I will shoot all the Narns point blank range.
Okay. Unless Wesley does something after the first shot,
Nah.
the Narns are summarily executed.
Look, you know how Earth Force is.
I just look to him and say, orders are orders. Now I will do first aid to Malone.
Yeah, we're the good guys, right?
Of course. We're always good guys.
So you bandage him up in the 0G space pretty much by latching one end of the bandage on and doing the mummy thing on him.
I'm just going to look to Zadora and say, the next part you might not want to be here for. I mean, you've already seen this, but just plausible deniability.
All right, you do you, and I will go talk to the crew.
And I was like,
I know to keep their mouth shut. Yeah. Look, drag the bodies onto their ship. I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
All right.
I put on like a vac suit or something to keep me safe in the vacuum of space.
You have some simple maintenance vacuum suits coming with the ships. They're not combat worthy, but they're enough to keep you safe from basic vacuum.
And I will start putting all the Narn bodies back on their ship.
And afterwards, I assume you complete your mission.
Exactly. Is there anything else on the ship of use that, I'm like, might as well get something to make it beneficial for?
Well, there is the several crates of loot, their weapons, and there is still one body missing.
I'm assuming they're dead by now. All right, put their bodies back, get my mission complete. I'll go look for the body, the other body, just to tie up the loose ends.
After a while, you do find a secret compartment and how to open it. As it comes open, there is a vacuum and a human woman in there, dead.
Do I recognize her at all?
No, you don't recognize her at all. But you do recognize the insignia of the cycle on her uniform.
Okay. I just push the body back in, shut wherever I found her. And I'll keep that mental note. How long would it take me to get all the stuff off the ship?
Oh, well, it's practically weightless, and it's about 7 tons, so 2-3 hours. You could, of course, just go for the lighter crates and leave the bronze statues alone.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm just for the lighter crates.
Okay, you pick up a few of the lighter crates, put them in. Takes you about 15 minutes. At which point, over at the ship, you hear the calling signs of, "This is Red Fly from Babylon 5. We registered some weapon firing. Is everything under control over there?" Over the radio, as over in the distance, your sensor officer says, "Yeah, there's a Star Furies coming our way." And this is where we end the session. See you next week.
Bonus nachos, everybody.